Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Originally, I thought I would do an all-in-one video showing you how I got ready for a trip to New York, then showing you highlights from the trip and some reflections afterward, but it didn't quite work out that way in terms of filming and editing. So this will be some thoughts about the week before in part one. Part two and part three will be coming up. So I have just about a week before we head out on spring break to New York City, and I'm not sure what I want to do with my life today. I think we're going to pack. We're going to end up going, we, as in myself and my husband, go to Walmart, Costco, grab things like toiletries and what's the juice you put on your contact lens? But I think I need to start off the day with a priority, which is to work out. So that has been a struggle for me. I go through these periods in my life where I'm like workout crazy, and I work out every day for 40 minutes and I get strong and muscular and feel fantastic. And then I go through these other periods in my life where everything else seems to take a priority except working out, which is unfortunate. And then I end up like leaving it to the end of the day and then doing like a half-ass 15-minute, 20-minute workout just to say that I moved my body that day. As I get older and the hormones are changing and the metabolism is changing, but my food habits are not changing, meaning I'm still eating like I'm 10 years old. Yeah. I probably need to cut back on all of that and up my movement more just to keep my body supple, nimble, my joints moving, my muscles engaged, all of that good health stuff. So I am lucky in that I have a room in the lower level of our home that I've been able to dedicate to just working out. And the room looks like this. I mean, it's nothing major, but it's great for me. I've got my treadmill here. What you see over there is a bunch of art supplies. I used to paint quite a lot. That's something else I'd love to get into. Other art supplies there that just remain dormant, calling my name, Veronica, paint. Got my little weights, but the main thing is the treadmill, which I love this Nordic track that has like the iFit thingamabobber screen there where you can act like you're hiking or running around the world, which is awesome. And then when I get off the treadmill, I get lazy and I sit in that chair and do some social media stuff. I watch YouTube as well, just like you guys do. I watch it on my phone, but I have a TV here and I'll sometimes throw on a YouTube video while I'm on the treadmill. So this is the lower level of our home, which is a nice finished space that you see that we use for all sorts of things. My husband's art projects. Through those doors are his woodworking shop. And then sometimes the kids will come down here and watch movies. There's a fireplace back there if you just want to sit. But anyway, we don't spend a ton of time down here with the exception of my husband doing woodworking. Let's see what he's got going on in here. Yeah, you see all that? Those are wood shavings all over the ground. And his lathe and materials and whatever else these things are. I don't know what half of this stuff is called. But my space is this room over here. So let me go on and hop on the treadmill, and I will see y'all in a little while after I shower and get ready, and we'll start packing for New York. This is not sponsored at all, but I just wanted to share that I really enjoy this iFit application on the Nordic Track screen here. I enjoy being able to choose my location around the world and the intensity of my workout. Sometimes I want to stroll, sometimes I want to jog, sometimes I want to be in the mountains, sometimes I want to be by the ocean. Here I am hiking in the mountains of Ecuador with this trainer. Quite frankly, I mute the trainer's voice because they give annoying life advice that I'm not interested in. But I do like that it gives you a summary at the end, how long you've gone, about how many calories you've burned, the elevation, the length, all of that. And you have this leaderboard where you can see how you have performed compared to others doing the same workout. I just love it. You can go anywhere, any continent, any location, choose different trainers. If you like the motivation of the trainer, you can leave their voice on and let them walk you through and, give you advice on fitness and so forth. So this is my view while I'm working out, and I kind of dig it. I mean, it's not a sunset, it's not a sunrise, it's not a beach, but it's our yard and I love it. Do you guys have bats? We do.
So we put up a little bat house. No bats have inhabited that particular house yet, but maybe soon. Why? I don't know, because we thought it was cool. It's not like we have a bug problem and need for bats to like handle the bugs for us. A lot of magic happens here around this little fire pit. A lot of magic. When it rains, the creek gets really full and bubbly. Some of our plants are starting to flower here slowly. So spring is in the air. Do you ever get a hankering for a cup of coffee like in the middle of the day? I do, and not because of the caffeine thing. I could care less about the caffeine. For me, it's just like I like the taste. And I also like these fun mugs that we have. So yeah, I'm gonna get some coffee, get ready. And I think we're gonna head out to Trader Joe's. Exciting afternoon. All right, let's go do this. Do you ever get so eager to drink your coffee that you take a sip right after you brew it, like a dum-dum, and burn your entire face off? So that just happened because you would think I've never had a hot cup of coffee before and I don't know how to behave. So it is getting late. Gosh, it's almost dinner time. No, it's about to be 3 o'clock and I am just now putting something on my face. I had big dreams of putting my face together a lot earlier, but you know, I had to work out, I had to shower, I had to shave my legs, I had to wash and blow dry my hair. We know these things take forever. But what really happened is I spent another hour and a half to 2 hours very slowly painting my nails, and they still look like terrible. Other choice words. And I had to sit and chat with my husband, and we had to check the mail, and I had to open Amazon packages, everything. I had to dilly-dally and do everything else other than what I set out to do. Lord. Among the things that I was doing was looking at not TikTok, but Instagram Reels. Do you look at Instagram Reels? So, by the way, I've done really nothing to my face today except moisturize it. And so I'm doing like a super quick makeup routine here only because I'd like to film a little bit more with you all before the day is over. Otherwise, I would skip makeup and have a no makeup day. I know. Can you imagine a no makeup day? Anyway, I was watching Reels, Reels, on Instagram, and I came across a couple that were about keeping promises to yourself. Usually, if it's not like a reel for entertainment purposes, if it's one of these like self-affirmation reels or something like that, I scroll by quickly because that's not what I go to Reels for. I go to Reels to be inspired or to laugh or to learn something new quickly. I don't need like a psychology thing going on or life lessons or affirmations or anything like that. Not from Reels. I'll get that stuff from other places. So the Reels that I stopped on that I'm talking about, there were a few that were about keeping your promise to yourself, and that keeping, by the way, let's pause. I used the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer from Catrice, one of my favorites. Do you see how easy that went on? And it's pretty flawless in terms of under the eye. You don't need a whole lot. My ladies who are over 40 and plus, it's a really nice one for skin that has wrinkles in it because it doesn't like settle into fine lines. And for my foundation, yes, I am wearing foundation today. Can you believe that? I'm using the Dior Air Flash. Now, this is a spray foundation. You don't want to spray it on your face. I'm going to use this and I'm going to spray this onto this and then dot it on my face. I got to warn you because it's going to look a little bit crazy on camera. This is a color that's darker than I am right now. It's usually a summertime color. This is the color 311. And so anyway, I'll blend it down my neck a little bit. Still look a little crazy. So I sprayed it just a little bit. It talked about that, it was a real quick thing, but it was that keeping a promise to yourself is a form of self-respect. And when you don't keep a promise to yourself, it's like disrespecting yourself. And I thought, that's interesting. I don't know. I'm not a person that's like huge on keeping promises for the sake of keeping promises. Sometimes you have plans and other things that come up, life that comes up, and the promise you can no longer keep, which, kind of begs the question, do you really want to make promises to begin with? Like, is that a smart thing to do, to make promises? And I don't know the answer to that question. I really don't. Yeah, all this time later in my life, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't make promises to many people because I know how fickle I am and that I change my mind so often about so many things. So on occasion, I will promise my family something. On occasion, I will promise a friend that I value something. It depends on the thing, and I have to be pretty certain that I can keep the promise. But as it relates to today, I didn't promise myself, but I did set out to get ready a lot earlier, and that just didn't happen. Normally these days I've been just kind of going with the flow, and like if it happens in the time that I imagined it would happen, then that's fine. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But anyway, that reel made me wonder, should I be more disciplined about the way that I approach my days, especially on the weekends, so that I can do more? And here's why I fight against that idea. Because it's the weekend, right? And so during the week, I work and I work hard. And so I don't know that I want to be like married to a similar structure on the weekends. But the thing about it is that there are things that I want to get done on the weekends. So anyway, the foundation and the neck are looking a little disjointed. So let me correct that a little bit. So what do you think? Do you think that you should have, or do you have rather, a weekend plan that you follow and stick to no matter what? Or do you give yourself more flexibility on the weekends so that you just do things as they come up and as the mood strikes you? Sort of a very much more laissez-faire approach to the whole weekend. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because all these years later, that's something that I still struggle with, is how much to structure my weekends. One makeup step regardless. Well, I like to do concealer and at least a tinted cream, like a tinted moisturizer cream. Obviously, I did a really light foundation. What I do like about that Dior Air Flash foundation is that it's very light and I think very skin-like. Like you can still see, all the texture in my skin up here. I'm purposefully wrinkling, obviously, to show you that, but I do like to do that. So cover up my face just a little bit, not cover up, cancel out maybe a little bit of the discoloration. And I love to do a bronzer. So I'm using the Hourglass Diffused Bronze Light. It's what I consider a cool tone bronzer. And I think that just helps to warm up my face. Of course, that's what bronzer's for. Hello, Veronica. We started a show last night that we are obsessed with, and there's a problem, and I'm going to tell you what that is. The show is called From, F-R-O-M, and the premise of the show, as far as we can tell, is that there's this town that appears to be out in the middle of nowhere, and it's one of those Hotel California situations where you can check in anytime you like, but you can't never leave. So at the beginning, in the first episode, it's a series, like a mini series kind of a thing. There is a family in an RV situation. They're on vacation, whatever, they're driving, they end up in this town, they get lost, and they're there. And they're trying to get back on the highway, but as they drive through the town, the road keeps bringing them back to the town. Even though it's a straight road, straight, linear, the road loops back somehow, some other dimension, back into the town. And they're like, what is going on? How come we can't leave? Why is this red? It just looks that way on the camera. Anyway, and what we find out as we keep watching is there's something really strange about this town. There are monsters in the town. And the townsfolk are okay during the day, but at night they have to lock their doors, pull their window shades down, because these like zombie monster things come out of the forests and they come to the windows and they masquerade as someone that you know. Like it might be like a dead relative that comes to the window that says, I miss you so much, or something like that. And it draws you in and you open the window and then the thing comes in and like eats your guts out. It sounds so stupid, but it's really, really, really good. It's so well done. And you have to have a talisman that you put like in your window. And that's how you keep the monsters out unless you let them in. If you don't have the talisman, the monsters can actually like break through windows and whatever. So the talisman like creates this imaginary sort of force field that can only be broken if you invite the thing in, because they fool you into thinking that there's something else. It's the craziest thing. But here's what's really crazy about it that we didn't even realize it. We have cable. I don't have like a full cable package because I don't personally watch a lot of TV. My husband watches a lot of TV, but it's on a channel that we don't have in our package. And it lets you watch the first 3 episodes for free. And then you have to actually buy the channel into your package to be able to keep watching. Like, how brilliant is that from a marketing perspective? To keep you interested and hooked, like to hook you. So I'm hooked and I gotta know what happens. We watched the first 3 episodes and oh my God, it was so good. I don't usually watch a whole ton of TV like I mentioned. I used to, but I don't, like in the past few years, since COVID really, I haven't watched a bunch of TV. But we were glued last night and I've been thinking about it all day, and it it even made its way into my dreams, where I was imagining that I was rushing people into the house and locking things down because the creatures were going to come out and I wanted to keep the people with me safe. Crazy stuff.
So I'm going to narrate through this section. My husband decided to come in and chat with me while I was getting ready, so I had to stop the audio portion of the recording. For this look, I'm using the Roaring Hearts palette from Colourpop, which is a more recent purchase for me. Beautiful, classic, warm-toned look. Lots of options in this palette, very simple. So I went for a warm tone in the crease and as the background of this eye look. And I am darkening up the outer V and the deep crease. I'm using one of the gorgeous brown terracotta shades in the palette to do a lower lash line, like to line my lower lash line. Then taking one of the gold shimmer shades, maybe bordering on metallic, and using that on the center of my eyelid to give it some pop. And brightening up the inner corner with a lighter metallic shade there, as you see, as well as right under the brow bone. Really, really like that palette. Gave me a simple glam look. I like it. Adding a little bit of cream blush and the Charlotte Tilbury push-up mascara on the eyelashes. Hey, Darren. He's such a hoot. Lining the lips in preparation for lipstick, and I go ahead and fill in my lips with the lip liner as well. We're done here. Let's fluff out this hair and keep the day going. Here is some footage from the opening of the show from Creepy.
Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Is what he said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera.
So, oh, I hope you guys find this as crazy and entertaining as I do. I was supposed to be putting on my makeup in the bathroom and I got this like crazy pain, like this crampy stomach pain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where's this pain coming from? And I had to go lay down. For those of you that have been in labor, it was as though I was giving birth to a child. It was, it was nuts. And I was like, oh my God, is this the end of days? So I laid down in the bed and I texted my husband, who was downstairs, and said, babe, this is it. This is how it ends. I'm dying. I need your help. I'm really dramatic when I'm in pain because I want to be pampered, of course. So I was like, you have to come help me. And he says, what can I do for you? And I'm like, just rub my stomach. So anyway, he comes upstairs. I don't know, maybe I just ate something weird that just didn't sit right with me because it was a very temporary pain. And I lay down in the bed and he lays down. Before he lays down, though, he puts the shades down. And I'm like, what's he doing? And he's like, just trust me, you'll see. And he puts on an episode of Chapelwaite. Next thing you know, we're binge watching Chapelwaite episodes. And I felt better in 20 minutes, of course. But I milked it. And I'm like, rub my stomach. I need, my shoulders rubbed. And Lord, what's wrong with me? So Chapelwaite, did I tell you all about it? It is supposed to be based on Stephen King's book, Jerusalem's Lot, which I have never read. Stephen King kind of freaks me out. Like all of his novels have these weird, bizarre, dark twists to them that make you question society and life and like your entire existence. So Chapelwaite is set back, if I'm not mistaken, just based on the outfits in the Victorian era. So maybe late 1800s into the turn of the century sometime. And it's in Maine. The majority of the story is in Maine, and there is a guy that has inherited, I'm so eloquent. There's a guy, his name is Charles Boone, that inherited this beautiful old Victorian mansion from his family. And there's something dark happening in the house and in the town. He was married to a Japanese woman who passed away now I'm getting all into the story, passed away. So he has children that are white and Japanese and not accepted by the people in the town. And they don't like him because he comes from the Boone family. And the Boone family is believed to have brought misfortune and a curse upon the town. So it's a lot about him like fighting the townspeople to get himself established and get his children to have a decent life there. But it just draws you in, you guys, and it's really creepy, and the music is brilliantly done. The lighting is fabulous. The acting is wonderful, and we just can't get enough. So we watched a few episodes of that. Lo and behold, it is officially almost dinner time, and guess what I still haven't done? I still haven't packed for the trip. I did, however, manage to film a fragrance video for the other channel. So toot toot. What is toot toot? So woo woo or whoop something, some kind of horn tooting for that. So I'm gonna go help with dinner, maybe have an early dinner, and then I promise we'll pack. Okay, we'll pack. I guess I don't really want to do it, but I'm gonna do it. So I'll be back later. But this is the makeup. What do we think?
Just to be clear, this is a completely different makeup look on a different day than the earlier segment of this video. Sorry for like the Quentin Tarantino time jumping around.
This is with the Nomad. As a matter of fact, it is Nomad, which is an independent makeup company. They're called Indie, an indie brand. And the palette is called Haunted House. I hadn't even thought about that. Oh, I'm missing the real funny part of the story, at least from my perspective. And that's that I got so engrossed in watching the episodes back to back, binge watching, that I didn't want to peel myself away to go do my makeup. So I was like, hold on, I'm going to do my makeup in the bed. Who does this? What kind of freak sits on a white comforter and does their makeup? This one here. So, and the shades were drawn, remember? So it was dark in the room. The only light I had was coming from back here. But I brought all of my supplies over to the bed and I did everything from primer to concealer, foundation, powder, the eyeshadow, everything except for my lipstick. I did that last in the bathroom. Craziness. So yeah, just imagine me sitting there enthralled watching this show so much that I had to like apply everything right in the bed. Nuts, but surprisingly it came out acceptable. I mean, is it, fabulous and magazine ready? No, but I think it did okay. Anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. So, one guess as to who didn't keep the promise to herself today. This girl. I have not packed. Yeah, it's 10:20 on Sunday night and I need to take my makeup off. I will say this Haunted Europe palette from Nomad has impressed me. You can't tell in this light, but the eyeshadow hung on all day long and I'm just impressed by the longevity, but it's time to take it off. It's time for me to go to bed. As you can see, I'm in my big comfy robe. We'll try again tomorrow on the packing front. It just didn't happen. We did a lot of other stuff. I edited a video that takes forever and ever and ever. And we did watch we did watch more Chapelwaite. We watched another 2 episodes, and then I had to call it. I was like, babe, that's it. That's it. Like, turn it off. We cannot watch a third episode because that would have already been 4 episodes today and 3 tonight, right? So 2 in the morning. Anyway, two earlier, 2 this evening, and we were about to go for a third. And I was like, we just can't. We got to stop. So I made us a cup of tea each, a hot cup of tea. So I'm really tired and I'm going to go to sleep. But hang on. I promise this is not a wild goose chase of packing. We will get there. See you in the next segment.